let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture position. Um, all right. Oh, that's right. I'm going to share this. Still half asleep. Okay. That was Judith's. The the actual painting is with her daughter in Pennsylvania now. But I managed to get a snapshot of it, but I didn't take it out. You can see on the one side some little bit of reflection. But anyway. Okay, so let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture as we greet our day. To be sitting in a cross-legged position, feet flat on the floor, shoulders aligned with the hips. Have your arms just relaxed in your lap. Maybe the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching, or just rest on your thighs, however it is working for you. And have your ears, as best you can, aligned with your shoulders, a little bit of length in the neck. And then go to the crown of the head and just notice if there's any sensation there. Relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes and the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, and the back of the tongue. And allow the shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax your throat and chest and belly. All your limbs. Take a nice deep breath. Just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then be aware of any sounds in your environment. So if you're here on the West Coast, everything's starting to wake up. And the birds. And maybe you have pets in your home that are talking to you, people in the kitchen. For some of you, your day has already well started. Could be a little busier. But just be aware of where you are at in your day and notice the sounds and then just allow them to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And just notice the thoughts that are arising this morning. Is it possible to separate out a kind of a uncomfortable feeling an intuition, say, for example, with a thought, and what might come first? Try to put some space in between your thoughts and notice if there are thoughts in there that maybe are not particularly serving you very well. So if you're kind of engaging in a lot of negative self-talk, it's almost like I wonder if the body knows the difference between when you talk to yourself negatively or whether somebody else talks to you negatively. And in a way, maybe we make our own anxiety, our own discomfort. And perhaps we can think about, just as we would if someone was talking to us in a way that wasn't comfortable, we might say, we don't like the way you're talking to me right now. Or as Kamala Harris might say, I am speaking, I am speaking. Because I think that whatever we are not attending to, we're choosing. But before we do any of that, we just got to be aware of what's going on. So this is an excellent exercise just to sit back without getting engaged and just observing. It's almost like you're an FBI agent checking out the scene, seeing what's there. And in amongst all our thoughts, for sure, there's going to be a lot of virtue, a lot of love. So maybe this is the type of thinking that we should be shining a light on. Right. Our minds are so curious, so interesting. That we want to carry on into our next life, beauty, compassion, and wisdom. Just cleaning the dust off the mirror. And then think about all these people in our life. I think before I was doing this meditation, I didn't much think about people in my life. People were there, but there's such a sweet little meditation, this beginning on the beginning of developing bodhicitta. This is this equanimity one. So bring to mind the people in your life you love, and then bring to mind those people in your life who you don't like so much or you make you a little nervous. And there's strangers, and they're all equal, regardless of how we feel about them. They all want to be happy, just like us. They all want to be free from suffering, just like us. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. And these relationships can change. That friend can become distant over time, or someone you don't even like. That's horrible when that happens. But, we're in this world of impermanence, samsara, and karma arises and ripens. And then, someone you may not like at all all of a sudden becomes your best friend. And I hear that often with siblings, they don't hated each other when they were kids and they're best buddies when they get older. So I think we'll do this meditation on Chenrezig this morning for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And I also know that there's a few people in this group who have family things going on right now. So maybe we're just pouring the cool water of compassion onto some heated moments, maybe. So imagine going back to all this friend, enemy, stranger thing. And imagine that you've got all of space around you is filled with sentient beings, and they're extending beyond the horizon. And just think of as many beings as you can. Fit them into your mind comfortably. It could be, if you're, there's a few of us here in a little bit of, and it's not, I don't know if it's quite suburban forest. We're not quite in a rural area, but so, there's many sentient beings, very visible to the eye. Actually, even in downtown Fairfax, quite often there are deer just wandering around the street. So, and there's so many insects and birds and various different things. And then human beings, dogs and cats. And then if you take your mind out to the ocean, to the sky, all the sentient beings there, from the birds that fly the highest, those fish in the deepest ocean. I mean, there's a lot of sentient beings. So now come back, refocus yourself onto yourself, and you can have your parents and your family members beside you, and your best friend, the people you've chosen to love in this life, maybe behind you as support. Those people that you don't get along with in front of you, eyeball to eyeball. And then just imagine all the others all around. And so, first of all, think about the suffering of your parents. Often we don't think about that. Often I think when I was growing up, it was all about, all my misery was their fault. But think about as I got to different ages, I was like, oh God, I was this age when my mum and my dad were this age. And what must it have been like for my mother at that age to have a baby? And then as we're all getting older, and I'm sort of thinking, I wonder how it was for my parents as they got into old age, and then we had to start, finding different places for them to be. So I think it must have been a suffering time. For some people in their old age can be suffering. As you get older, you lose your balance, you start to fall, then that gets complicated. And they want to be free of suffering and feel how wonderful it would be if they could enjoy the peace and bliss of enlightenment, of happiness, of family. And then think of the people that you don't like or have hurt you. And imagine their suffering and their pain if you can. Maybe there's a level of insecurity there. Maybe they kind of talk inappropriately. Maybe they're lonely, or maybe they don't know how to receive love somehow. So they're always just kind of grasping and gripping. They have fear and dissatisfaction. And maybe just like you, they don't want problems. They want to be happy. But as long as the mind is confused and ignorant of how things really do exist, they're never going to find peace. So try and open your heart to these people for whom you normally feel just annoyance or irritation or anger. And sometimes these people might be, they're forcibly in your life. You don't have a choice at the present time. So we really are either going to torture ourselves or we're going to try and change our mind. So expand your awareness to take in the troubles and the pain of other human beings and animals. Whoever has an uncontrolled mind necessarily has suffering. And so you know that every time you hear a dog barking like crazy, they're suffering, they're scared, they're just going to bark. So keeping in mind that suffering and happiness and pain are mental experiences and they are impermanent and they do change. And there's this kind of arising of these kinds of mental states because of confusion. And once the causes have been eliminated, they kind of dissipate. So we just have to, keep drawing awareness to what's there in the mind. Might take a little bit of time every day. And just dealing with our own misconceptions, our own delusions, our own negative energy, and then gradually developing a correct understanding of the way things exist. So just have a strong aspiration to do this work for yourself so you can help others be free of their suffering. So now imagine above the crown of your head and facing the same way as you is Chenrezig. And Chenrezig is the manifestation of pure, unobstructed compassion and love and wisdom. His body is made of white light. It's transparent, radiant. So try and feel the living presence of this being above the crown of your head. And if all of that imagery in the tanka that you see before you is too much for your mind, just imagine this beautiful ball of white, otherworldly, translucent, bright, radiant light, full of, healing and love and kindness and compassion. Total acceptance. So however it is you're showing up this morning, it's completely fine. It's all good. It's just another day and it will change. And also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. You can imagine Chenrezig is peaceful and smiling, so radiating love to you and all those beings surrounding you. He has four arms. The first two hands are held together at his heart and hold a jewel that fulfills all wishes. His second two are raised to the level of his shoulders, and the right is holding a crystal rosary, and the left a white lotus. He's holding the stem of a white lotus. He's sitting on a moon disk, and this is on an open lotus, and his legs are crossed in the full Vajra posture, and he's wearing exquisite silks and jewels. And you can imagine the jewelry is just emanation of his virtue. So let's just again meditate for a minute or so, and then just stay relaxed and comfortable and open to Chenrezig's serene and loving energy. And just allow that to trickle down into you, into your heart, into your mind. Now make a prayer from your heart to overcome your misconceptions, your negative energy, and to develop pure love and compassion for all beings. And feel that in this way, you're connecting with your own true nature, your own highest potential. So in response, Chenrezig very lovingly sends streams of white light, filling every cell and atom of your body, and it purifies all your negativities and problems, all your past harmful actions, and your potential to give harm in the future, and completely fills you with limitless love and compassion, and your body feels light and blissful and peaceful, and your mind peaceful and clear. So just imagine, normally we separate those two, but just imagine, you're purifying all your negativities and that you're bringing in just bliss and love, compassion, wisdom, creativity, intelligence. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And just allow the vibration of the sound to fill your whole body, your mind. Just notice the sensations, the waves of that sound, Om Mani Padme Hum, reverberating throughout your whole system and then beyond. Imagine now Chenrezig dissolving into white light, and this flows down through the crown of your head and reaches your heart chakra. And your mind merges indistinguishably with the mind of Chenrezig, and you experience complete tranquility and bliss. And we just hold that feeling as much as you can. And then when this usual sense of I starts to arise, bored, I need coffee, I've got to go do this and this, whatever, just think that that is not your true self, and simply bring your attention again and again back to this experience of oneness with the quality of Chenrezig's mind, infinite love and infinite compassion. So you can stay in meditation if you wish. Otherwise, I'll dedicate this all the positive energy we've created doing this meditation to all the peace and happiness of all the sentient beings, for yourself as you're moving along your spiritual path. Okay, everybody, lots of love. I will see some of you this evening, and thank you so very much, Mary, for hosting. Okay, lots of love, everybody. Bye-bye.